Evelyn, already past 50, had always lived a life of quiet restraint and deliberation. After her husband's death, she found solace in gardening and reading. Life flowed slowly and peacefully, like a measured river. It was this way until the day she met him, Derek. He was young, full of energy, with wonderful manners and a gaze that pierced to the bone. 25-year-old Derek appeared in her life as suddenly as the first spring thunderstorm. He worked in an antique shop, where Evelyn had gone in search of an old album. He helped her find exactly what she was looking for, and then asked her out for coffee. Evelyn, surprised by her own boldness, agreed. They talked for hours about art, travel, and music. Derek listened to her with such attention that she felt young and desirable again. She couldn't believe it was possible. She fell in love completely, like a young girl. The naivete and passion that ignited in her heart drowned out the voice of reason. She gave him expensive gifts, a watch that had belonged to her father, an antique painting. Derek accepted everything with polite gratitude, but something was off in his eyes. Evelyn felt a strange unease after he started asking her for money, for business development, to pay the rent. Each time he found a new reason, and she, blinded by her feelings, believed him. One day, while looking at old photographs, Evelyn noticed an inscription on the back of one of them, Charlotte with her son. The photo showed her sister, whom she had last seen in childhood before they were separated. And this photo belonged to Derek. Evelyn's consciousness wavered. Her sister, Charlotte, whom she had searched for in vain for many years, and her son, Derek. In that moment, the pieces of the puzzle came together to form a terrible picture. Tears streamed down her cheeks. She remembered how, as a child, after their parents' car accident, she and her sister were separated. The older Evelyn was sent to an orphanage, and Charlotte was taken in by an aunt. She realized that Derek, her young lover, was not just her lover. He was her sister's son. He used her love, her loneliness, to get money. And this deception was all the more cruel because he was her nephew. Evelyn realized she had been blind. Her passion turned to pain, and her love into hatred. Her life, which had seemed so peaceful, had turned into a cruel deception. Evelyn's consciousness wavered. Her sister, Charlotte, whom she had been searching for in vain for many years, and her son, Derek. Tears streamed down her cheeks, but they held not only betrayal but also a bitter, ancient guilt. She looked up at Derek, who stood silently with his head bowed. She saw in him not a swindler, but the embodiment of her own mistake that had haunted her for decades. Evelyn took a deep breath and spoke in a quiet but firm voice. "You think I didn't know?" These words sounded like a clap of thunder. "You think I was so blind? I knew you were her son, Derek. I saw how much you looked like me, how you moved. You're a living copy of Charlotte when we were children." Derek looked up, his eyes full of surprise and confusion. "What are you talking about?" he whispered. You knew?" Evelyn walked over to the old safe, hidden behind a painting her husband had given her. She opened it and pulled out a letter, yellowed with age. "Yes, I knew. And I was waiting for you. I knew that sooner or later you or your mother would find me. This letter is from Charlotte." Evelyn told her story. After their parents' death, she, the older sister, was supposed to raise Charlotte. But she was young, scared, and didn't want to lose her own life. She had given up her sister, giving her to their aunt, and moved to another city to start over. Since then, she had been haunted not only by success, but by an unbearable pain of guilt. All these years, she had been looking for Charlotte, but her trail had gone cold. "The money I took," Derek's voice trembled. "My mother made me do it. She wanted to get revenge on you for abandoning her. She said it was the only way to punish you. I didn't want to, but she's sick. She needs an operation and..." Evelyn handed him the letter. Derek unfolded it and saw the familiar handwriting. It was Charlotte, his mother. The letter said that she had forgiven Evelyn, that she understood her decision, that Derek was all she had, and she didn't want him to be part of her revenge. She had sent the letter a long time ago, but Derek had never read it. Here, Evelyn smiled like never before. "Your mother knew I was looking for her," she said. "That's why she gave you this photograph. She wanted you to find me. She wanted to reunite us. And here we are." She walked back to the safe and took out some documents. They were the deeds to her house and a power of attorney for all her capital. "Derek, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I thought I would never find her." Derek stood stunned. He realized that his cruel deception was just a part of a larger plan, created not for revenge, but for reconciliation. He wasn't a swindler. He was a mediator. Evelyn took his hand, and a tear rolled down her cheek again, but this time, a tear of relief. She had finally found not only her nephew, but also the redemption she had waited for so long.